All right, welcome back to another episode of A Pipe Story brought to you by Pipes and Pickin'. I am wrapping up my church warden series today. I slipped out of work a little early. Wanted to wrap up this series, and I am bringing out my Meerschaum Wednesday. Anyway, but anyway, this is my Meerschaum pipe with the big long bent church warden stem. Here, let's take a closer look at it. Hand carved Meerschaum from Turkey. Got some age to it, got some coloring going on. I'm working on getting it done. Just a gorgeous pipe. Really a pretty pipe, and I love looking at it. However, I'm not a huge fan of smoking it. I'm a little disappointed in the stem. I'm not a big fan of the stem. Maybe it's just my big old chest and big lung capacity. I have a hard time smoking this thing cool. I just do. Getting a little better at it, but just have a hard time with it. But it is, and I'm not real happy with the stem. I'm not going to take it out of here, but it's just not well. The tenon's just not really well going into the air hole of the pipe, and it's just a little wonky. So I don't know if that's really a fair choice or a fair judge for Meerschaum, but I do. Smoking it's more just not as fun as some of the other pipes that I have. Also, Briar Blues brought it out in his video not too long ago, that sometimes Meerschaums have a real chalky, real muddy taste. I have found that I eliminate that if I go with an English, something with a good bit of Latakia, which is what I have in here today. I've got one of my own blends that I call Father-in-Law. And as I mentioned before, my father-in-law is a cigar guy, and the night that I was talking about the last time, the night that we sat up and talked pipes and everything, he was smoking a cigar, and we got into the smoking a pipe, and he tried one of my pipes and tried some Old Court and liked Old Court. I'm converting him on Old Court, and I don't know, I blended this tobacco kind of in his honor, and I'm letting it age before I send it to him. It's in English. It's a little bit of a Latakia bomb, but it's got some Turkish kind of cut in it too, so it's real savory. Got a lot of kitcheny flavors. Real smells like something cooking in the kitchen. Real campfire, smoky, but also put a sprinkle of cigar leaf in. And I like this because the tin note is almost sort of a really good musty smell, which is a weird way to describe tobacco, but it's got a really good musty smell to it, and it just kind of smells like a grandfather's smoke room, or a grandfather's man cave. The Barker Lounger where he sits and smokes his pipe, smokes his cigars. It really takes me back to that time. As you can see, I'm having trouble keeping this pipe lit. There's just very little middle ground with this pipe as far as smoking it, but it's a gorgeous pipe, and what got me into Meerschaums is my wife and I took a trip. We were married 10 years ago last year in 2018, and she had a trip out in San Diego for work several months before our anniversary, but I went with her, and we decided to make a 10-year anniversary trip out of it. And I'm sure, like y'all, when you go someplace new, go find the tobacco shops, go find the pipe shops. And I found the coolest pipe shop in San Diego, and I forget the name of it, but it is a pipe shop in the old city, in the old historic San Diego area. Right there on the plaza, there is an old-fashioned pipe shop, and the guys that are in there are really cool. Now, they've got all the regular tobaccos you would find, and the Peterson, Savinellis, and all that, but the owner has got a really excellent collection of old and historic pipes. and some of the most beautiful Meerschaum pipes you have ever seen, and just hand carved, beautiful old ships. If you think about like the National Treasure, when they're in the Charlotte at the very beginning and they find that Meerschaum pipe, you know, that kind of old-fashioned hand carved Meerschaum pipes, and had just been beautifully aged. Well, the guy that ran the shop, apparently this was not the first wife that he had seen in a shop that had gotten dragged in there by her husband, as you can imagine. And he did more selling to her than he did to me. I just, you know, like most guys in a shop, I just kind of wander around, let me alone, and I'll kind of see, and if I have a question, I'll ask you. Well, they have all these pipes on display, and there's like old Native American pipes, those, you know, old rocks that Native Americans had carved out and had used, and these old Meerschaums and things like that. So he was taking Kelly around, showing her all these pipes and talking about them. And I guess it's one thing when her husband rambles on about something. To get some guy who's just really engaging, really entertaining, was showing her and telling her about Meerschaum pipes. And she was just, wow, Byron, you know, those are really pretty. You need a Meerschaum pipe. Ears perk up. Really? I need a new pipe? You're gonna let me have a new pipe? Yeah, you need one of them. All right. So anyway, unfortunately, there's only one or two really good, real, legitimate pipe shops in Memphis. There was one called the Tobacco Corner. And they had their own blends that they blended in the house, and I'm fortunate enough to sell them. And when the McClellans thing hit, they did apparently not a big community in Memphis, Tennessee, had found out about it. So I was able to kind of stock up on some Frog, and I think 22 and number 24 Virginia, was able to kind of stock up on them. But it also happened to be about the time that unfortunately they were going out of business. And they had this pipe. At a very steep discount. And you can imagine a pipe like this with this, you know, orange marble swirled stem with this hand carve. I mean, looked like a dream sitting in the shelf. And I want to say it was like 65% off. And so I just straight up bought it and called my wife and said, "Remember you said that I needed a Meerschaum pipe?" Yeah, they're really pretty. Yeah, so pretty when they age. Well, good, because I just bought one. And she's like, "Oh, it's the only pipe my wife has been excited about." Unfortunately, well, that other than the few that she's bought me, but only purchase that I had made that she was excited about. And that's why I like this pipe. It's probably the worst smoking pipe I have, and it's probably not fair to judge Meerschaums by it. But I am going to keep smoking it to color it because my wife thinks they're pretty. And I owe it all to that really cool shop in San Diego for it. So, you know, take that as you know, for whatever piece of advice you can glean from that. But yeah, this is my Meerschaum, and it's my church. You know, it wraps up our Church Warden series. So I'm kind of excited to move on past them. I'm glad I got to do it because I got to kind of get back into my Church Wardens, and I've enjoyed them a little bit more than I did prior. But next up, we're going to be doing some of the miscellaneous. There's really no theme for them. It's just going miscellaneous pipes. I have picked up another La Roca that I'll probably do next. Really pretty pipe, and but I'll be doing some just the miscellaneous series after this, just the odd and end ones. We've got some Savinellis that I hadn't talked about, and my Peterson, and just some other stuff like that. Just no theme to them, just really cool pipes. Actually, it's probably a bigger chunk of my rotation are those. So anyway, just wanted to come out and wrap this series up. Hope y'all are having a good one in the YTPC. Y'all keep on piping, y'all keep on picking, and we'll catch y'all next time. Take care.